Radio presents. This episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello there, and welcome to the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III, and I am your host, Jesse Oakley III. Now, the purpose of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is where yours truly get to interview a plethora of positive people that are making big differences in the communities. You name it, writers, speakers, entertainers, athletes. You will hear from them first right here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. And today, we got ourselves a wonderful show. Now, people out there that know that I belong to an organization for the past 23 years known as Toastmasters International, and I held a myriad of leadership roles. I'm talking about club officers. I've been an area governor, a district governor. Actually, they're not called area directors and the district directors. And I also had a role called a region advisor. And actually, being a region advisor was also a fun, fantastic time to get a chance to get in touch with district leaderships. And overall, the experience as region advisor was truly fantastic. Now, I had with me a past region advisor for Toastmasters International, and she is a dynamic, uplifting, inspiring Toastmasters and one of the coolest people I do know here in the Oakley household. And please help me welcome none other than distinguished Toastmaster and past region advisor, Rose Swearingen. Hey, Rose, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic now that you are here with all the happy people that are watching here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And are you ready for the interview?
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right. So without further delay, let's chat.
All right.
Okay. Now, we've talked about Toastmasters many times in the past episodes, and I asked people about their definition of Toastmasters. And what is your definition of Toastmasters International? What is it?
So for me, my definition of Toastmasters, it's growth, learning, community, friendships, and the place of possibilities. So I've always thought of it that way. When I joined, I was really interested in just doing stuff for me, but then it quickly became doing stuff with and for other people.
All right. Fantastic. Now, the next question I do have for you is, how did you get your start in Toastmasters? Where was your beginning?
So my beginning is, I always say it's a little wonky, right? Back in 1993, I joined a club that was in my office, and then 3 months later it folded, and I was the last person to join. So I thought perhaps it was me, and I stayed away. I stayed away from the organization for like 8 years, and I went back in 2001. And I had moved to Arizona to help care for my mom. And I was working at another company. And my boss at the time said, I really want you to do these soft skill training classes for our junior executives, like customer service and phone etiquette and stuff like that. But she goes, I want to make sure that you're a really good public speaker. So join the Toastmasters Club in our office and give your first 3 speeches. And then come to me and we will get you training. And so I did that. And then I started training. And unfortunately, we lost my boss on 9/11. She worked in the World Trade Center in the North Tower. And she was a huge mentor for me. And losing her was very tough and very hard. And I thought about quitting Toastmasters. And then her sister called me later on, after they had cleaned out her office at her office in Chicago. She was just visiting in New York that week. So circumstances were, it was terrible, right? It was just bad timing. And so her sister called and said, hey, I found all these notes. I want to read them to you. And so she read me all of Sue's notes. And I said, I'm really thinking about getting out of Toastmasters. And she said, well, my sister was a distinguished Toastmaster. I'd really love it if you took her place. So my first DTM was in honor of Sue, and I stayed in Toastmasters for her. But then I knew what she was doing when she planted the seed. She was planting it for me to grow and learn and become a leader and a better speaker. And so that's how I got my start in Toastmasters, was a push and then a promise and then a promise kept.
Wow, that was quite the fantastic story about your start in Toastmasters. It got me right here, and I was like, wow, amazing, amazing start. Up next, we all have when it comes to our journeys. You talk about your start, and we've been in Toastmasters for quite a while, and there are those types of moments where we have challenges, and those challenges we be able to overcome. Now, what has been the most challenging situation in your Toastmasters journey that you overcame?
I think some of the toughest times was when I was first wanting to become a leader. I think I always say, like, I needed to enter the room with a marching band, and now I just need to enter the room with a string quartet. So I entered a lot of rooms with a marching band. Like, I wanted to do things and I wanted to change things. And there were quite a few leaders who were like, you can't, you shouldn't, you won't. And it was hard to overcome that and prove that, yeah, I had a place in the organization. I had ideas. And one of the things I learned that helped me overcome was, I really respect and admire our traditions, but I also know that we need to change and grow and evolve. And so it took a lot of convincing to some of our more seasoned, established members that change was not going to be the most scary thing. It was, yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's a good thing. But we can still hold on to all these things we absolutely love and still be able to move and grow and learn. And so it was really, there were years when I just didn't think I was worthy, right? I didn't think, people believed in me, and I just kept believing in myself, believing in that promise I made to my boss, Sue, and to other women coming up in leadership roles, that I did belong here and that we all belong here and we have a voice. So that is a big challenge. And I think it's a lot of challenge that people who are, I was in my 30s then, I'm not now. So I still try to believe in people who are younger and smarter than me, instead of trying to hold on so much. So that initial challenge, maybe like the first 5-6 years I was in Toastmasters, I really tried to overcome that, and eventually I did. And I think perseverance really shows when you have that kind of a challenge.
And that is definitely true, because I was in the same boat that you're in. And when I first entered, it was more like the New Orleans type of jazz, that the New Orleans jazz that was there. But I somehow changed that from New Orleans jazz to more of the smooth type of jazz, like the Miles Davis and the Charlie Parkers, and the guy with the bass going boom, 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 boom like that. So I could definitely understand what you're talking about, big time.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the next question I have for you is, we have best moments.
Yeah.
And what some people have best moments are distinguished Toastmasters. Others are reaching a district director or a region advisor, while others are marrying a fellow Toastmaster. And yeah, that's being a big accomplishment and best moments. Now, what were some of the best moments that you experienced in your Toastmasters journey?
So yeah, definitely meeting and then like 10 years later, marrying my husband, who is also a Toastmaster. Jesse knows that feeling as well. So if you're single and looking, Toastmasters might not be I can't guarantee it, right? One of the, so there are two really significant moments. One is, when my husband was a district governor, we were President's Distinguished District. And I just remember that at that July TLI, him getting a call from Dilip Abhisekara and Dilip telling him, and we were all standing in the hallway telling him that we become president's distinguished judge. And I was a division governor then. And we had just like, we had a challenging year. We had a dues increase that doubled our dues. And like, it was a big thing. So, I had an amazing team of fellow division governors, and most of us were there that day. And it was like this roar of excitement. And what it was is because we had worked so hard the last 3 months to get all of our divisions distinguished. Like, I knew April 1st with dues and everything that my division was going to be president's distinguished. It was great. But 2 of my colleagues were not in that same boat. So like, we were driving around the last day, picking up membership applications and getting things to FedEx and doing that. And then we were all distinguished or better. So that was a phenomenal. And then I was able to repeat that really fantastic feeling the year that I was district governor.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out during our new incoming area governor, division governor training, we actually literally on the screen refreshed the report and showed that we had met all of our goals. And it was that same feeling of like, oh my God, this team, really nothing about what I did for sure. Cause it was just that most of the team was there. All the new folks were there. They felt that excitement. Like, could we impart that upon them? And one of the really great things was I got to spend the last 24 days of my year as district governor thanking everyone, just saying, thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for putting in the time. Thank you for chartering 25 clubs. Like, we just had a year that was amazing, and leaving the district in a better place, in a better position to go forward. And that feeling was huge. And then actually winning my very first area contest was also super cool. Like, I have a trophy. It was so nice. Like, it was table topics, and I just was like over the moon, like on a personal accomplishment. Like, yay, I had been a theater major, so getting up in front of people to perform was not a big deal, but doing that table topics was the most nerve-wracking thing. So that little trophy was like a super proud rose moment. And then those others were a super amazing team moment.
Oh my, those were some amazing best moments that you do have. And I remember those times where it was the neighbors. I'm in Vegas, you're in Arizona, and I remember looking at the neighbors down south. I was like, what are they doing down there? What type of water are they drinking? They're doing some good stuff there. My goodness. And this is truly remarkable to see go through those types of amazing moments and goals and accomplishments. And it's just inspiring. And speaking of inspiring, I'm sure that you ran across many people who are inspired by your work in Toastmasters, whether it be in different types of roles that you're able to take on and actually do. And there's always that one person that would like to look at you and say, wow, I want to be like Rose. I want to be in her shoes. And let's say that you meet one person that says, Rose, I'm amazed by you. I'm impressed by you. You're my mentor, and you're my inspiration in this role of Toastmasters. And I just want to be just like you. Now, if you were to give any advice to that person who wants to be in your shoes, what advice would you give that person?
It's taken a long journey, right? One of the things that I always really want to impart is truly be yourself, right? There's a lot of like, oh, you should dress like this. You should be like this. You shouldn't be so loud. You shouldn't do this, right? When you're not your authentic self, it shows to people, right? I feel like I'm the same person at work, at home, at Toastmasters. It's be true to you. And And I mean that in a sense, like, if there's something you need to talk about and you want to give a speech about, don't be afraid to give it, right? Speak your truth and do it with a kind heart. I don't mean go get up in someone's face and be mean, but like just be you. Recently I bought a new suit. It's not this one. I bought another one, and it's
Okay.
bright pink. And somebody said to me, "Oh, you should really buy a black suit." And I just thought, "No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not dark. I'm light. I'm bright. I want to wear a pink suit. I think it's fun. It just be true to yourself and figure out what it is that you want to gain from this experience in Toastmasters. Like I always say, I don't pay Toastmasters to serve. I
Right.
pay to learn, and the bonus I get and that I got was I got to serve and I
Right.
got to help other people. But I'm still in Toastmasters. I'm still a paid member. I'm still in Toastmasters. I'm still trying to learn. And you would think after 24 years, yeah, I probably should have learned. But I think learning is not just being the perfect speaker.
Right.
It's learning from people you know, people you talk to. I heard a great speech from a club member the other day that was about that when she came to our club, somebody gave her a seat. They walked her to a seat and sat next to them. And I thought, wow, what a powerful message that is. They felt welcome. They felt like you're going to sit next to me. So now I'm like, okay, new a guest walks in, I want to give them a seat next to me, right? That that is spark moments, that's growth moments. That's like I know goosebumps, right? Like
Oh, yes.
so when I say I'm in it to learn, that's what I'm talking about. And yeah, look, I'm going to talk with my hands and I'm going I'm going to do all those things. Still, I don't know, after 24 years, I still do it, but and it's okay. It's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
that I still use my hands to talk, right? There's no Toastmasters jail. We're not going to take your birthday away if you talk with your hands. It's still something I'm going to work on. I'm still figuring it out. And I think that when you stop figuring it out, yet you're kind of done, right? So I
Yeah.
always want to be, and I say, just like Helen Blanchard, the great Helen Blanchard said,
Yep.
if you're going to get all you're going to get out of Toastmasters, you'll never get out of Toastmasters. And so I live that every day. So when I meet someone new, I say, be your authentic self, decide what your journey in Toastmasters is going to be, and then do it, and then accomplishment, and then decide, are you really done? And maybe you'll stay a little bit longer too.
I tell you, you just gave what I like to call open lid learning. Yeah, as long as you have that lid right there, the jar right there, and the lid is open, and you pour and learn knowledge and learning, you're able to pour, whether it be 24 seconds or 24 years, you'll
Yeah,
always be there. And the only problem is if you stop learning, bam, the lid is on. So it's always best to keep just unscrew the lid and just keep it open and just keep learning. And that way we can always keep up with the times and we won't have to worry about anybody taking our cheese because
yeah.
we're looking for new cheese when it comes to learning through that open lid type of philosophy. All right. Now, the next question I have for you is there are people out there that they know about Toastmasters now and they're interested in actually joining and they don't know where to go for Toastmasters. Where could they actually go to get started on connecting with Toastmasters? Where could they go?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, like, go to the website, find a club, do all that. And I actually was at our district's TLI yesterday, and I had an opportunity. Oh, and I'm sorry, Toastmasters Leadership Institute, and I had the opportunity to stand up and talk. And I said, after 24 years, everybody who knows me knows I'm in Toastmasters, or I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, I've decided to up my game on LinkedIn, and I've been posting a lot more. And a director in my department in information technology has been seeing my posts because we're connected.
Mm-hmm.
And he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I didn't even know you were a Toastmaster. And I really want to start a club for my department. And I'm thinking you can help me with that." And I was like, "Yes, I can." So I had actually heard from two other folks through just general conversation that they also wanted to get their departments a Toastmasters club. So the four of us are going to get together and we're going to figure out how to start a corporate club just for IT professionals, because IT professionals, we'd rather talk to our computers than other people.
Yep.
But I work in healthcare. So we've really got to work with each other to make sure that our patients, doctors, and our other colleagues, our projects get done. So
Good.
you never know. So think of ways that you can let other people know without beating them on the head about it, right? Like, because I've done that like enough. People know that.
Yep.
Oh, maybe it's posting on LinkedIn. Maybe it's talking to someone at church or at your community group or someplace you haven't thought of, right? Because a lot of times coworkers go, yeah, whatever. Or your cousin Bob is like, no, that's not for me. That's your thing or whatever. There's never an opportunity to not talk to someone about it, right? Have that 30-second elevator speech ready to go. Where I know this is cliche, wear a pin, because people will ask you, "Hey, what's that pin you're wearing?" Right? Like, it's a visual thing. I think we forget that we have our own little billboard that we can walk around with and just talk to people. So I was super surprised about the LinkedIn. I shouldn't have been, because there's a whole ton of people who know me just professionally and don't know me as a Toastmaster or on Facebook or Instagram or wherever I'm at. So just keep talking about it. Again, I don't like to kill my family with it, but there's other people you meet every day that definitely. One of the other things that I do is my club meets 6:30 in the morning on Fridays.
Right.
So I must go to Dutch Bros and go through and get a coffee before I go. And every time they're amazing. Every time I go through, they go, "What you up to today?" And I go, "I'm going to my Toastmasters meeting." They're like, "What's Toastmasters?" So I tell them there's a perfect way. If someone asks you, "Hey, what are you up to today?" and you're going to your Toastmasters meeting, tell them about it. And the kids at Dutch Bro, and I call them kids because they're college kids and they're so enthusiastic. A couple weeks later, I went through again and the same gal was working and she said, "Hey, I know, are you going to that talking thing?" And I go, "Yeah, it's called Toastmasters." So, maybe a couple more coffees, I'll actually get her to go to a meeting. Probably not on a Friday morning because she's working, but there's, we've got tons of clubs you can check out. So yeah, never stop talking about it.
Now, what you just described was best put by the late world champion public speaker Dana Lamont with the 3 H's. It is a hook. You talk about the hook, especially with the pin. The hammer, where you talk about the Toastmasters, and then the hinge with the invitation. So when you were talking about those stories and getting people to know more about Toastmasters, that is a good approach, is using the hook, hammer, hinge method. And truly fantastic. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one more. Now, this portion of the podcast is called the shout out portion. If you have to give a shout out to the people that made your Toastmasters journey possible, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, so the first person on my list is actually not my husband, because he's not the first person I met in Toastmasters. So of course, my late boss Sue, she was phenomenal. She'll forever be my number one.
Yep.
My next is past international director Nancy Starr Cassidy. Nancy was a past district governor when I joined Leaders Plus, which is a club here in District 3, and they sat me next to her. So that really resonated. Now, I will tell you, if you meet Nancy and she asks you to go for a margarita, caution, she's going to ask you to do something. And that's how she hooked me in. It was with margaritas and chips and salsa. But Nancy she was my mentor. I worked on her international director campaign, which was my first international convention. She is one of those bestie, lifelong girlfriend. She was the best lady at my wedding. So for sure, Nancy, she's just been a surrogate mom, a best friend, just an amazing influence. And I could not do Toastmasters without her. So if you don't have a mentor, find a mentor. Of course, my husband Tim, he's amazing. We met in Toastmasters. I was a division governor when he was the district governor, and through time and relationship, we are about to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. And so without him, like, the day-to-day stuff just absolutely doesn't happen. And I think actually pretty much every leader who's ever believed in me, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot that didn't, but there's a lot that like absolutely believed in me, and that keep believing in me, and just want me to keep doing the things that I'm doing and serving our members, and just giving me the opportunity to talk and say, you know, I still do it. I just did it, right? And one of the amazing things about you, Jesse, is that we went through we went through training together as district officers, and I just love having all these friendships where I've seen people just become amazing people, and you are just amazing to me. And so I'm so thankful I get to call so many awesome people friends. And I recently lost a very good Toastmaster friend, and his passing has really affected me. And I just keep remembering that he would say, "Girl, just get up and keep doing it, and you're going to be great." So it's really everyone who contributes to the good things that happen, and maybe even some who create some challenging things that make you rise up and do better and say, "Oh, heck no, I'm going to do it." But so those are my shout outs.
Oh, fantastic people that you just mentioned. They're truly fantastic. Now, there's one more question I have to ask you, and this question will be addressed to the people that watch this episode and the podcast and their followers, and they're people I like to call the happy people. And they are amazing. And every time I ask the question for the guests, they're always inspired by the words of wisdom that they experienced. Now, if you have a chance to give some wise words of wisdom to my crew and my people, the happy people, what would it be?
I think it goes back to that: be yourself, be who you truly want to be. And we're an organization that helps people find their voice. So not just find it, but use it. Use that voice that you have. I spent some time a few years ago helping women run for elected office. Yep. And one of the hardest things for women candidates, right, is to ask for money and to ask for help. So you may not need to ask for money, but ask for help, and don't be afraid to do it, because you'll be surprised at how many people will be like, "Yes, how can I help you? How can I do that?" So find your voice, be your authentic self, ask for help. And then years ago, my husband found this coffee cup from a coffee shop. I think it was in Springfield, Missouri. And I can't remember the name of the coffee shop, but the coffee mug said, "Wake up, do good, repeat."
Wow. That is a perfect bookend to today's episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. On behalf of the happy people that are watching this, Rose, I thank you for your time to being on the Sunday Morning Chat Series.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. It was so fun to be here this morning, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Truly fantastic. And this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. For more information, go to prconnectionsradio.com, and you can also go to YouTube channel of PR Connections. Just type in PR Connections, that's PR and then Connections, and then go to YouTube and subscribe to that channel. But wait, there's more. You can also subscribe to my own channel of Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. That's Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. Subscribe to that channel, and you get to hear from past interviews I've done, a plethora of positive people that are making big difference in their communities. These episodes I've done in 2020, 2021, 2024, and right here in 2025. Feel free to check out the past episodes that I've done because you have some amazing people that I've interviewed in the past. And this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. Be sure to check out our next episode, which will air Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we get a chance to hear more plethora of positive people that are making big differences in their community. On behalf of Rose and Happy People and myself, this is Jessica III saying, until next time, you take care of yourselves and have a great day. Bye.
Hey, business owners. Want to get your brand in front of thousands of locals in Vegas without blowing your budget on overpriced ads? Ready to boost your visibility? Use promo code PRTalk for an exclusive offer. Click the link in the description or contact 702-445-9488 to talk to our experts today. Vegas is watching. Make sure they see you.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.